And welcome back to another episode of Monday Evening Quarterback. Christian Simpson here. Huge shout out to all my phone callers, man. I love you guys and I love everyone that supports the Daily Blitz movement and Monday Evening Quarterback as a whole. I am nothing without the support. You're probably listening and wondering, can that be me as a phone caller? Could I be featured on Monday Evening Quarterback? Absolutely. Let me know. Email me, c.simpson at thedailyblitz.blog, or if you have me added on social media, just reach out to me. I will book and accommodate you whenever you can, and we will get it done because I do pre record every phone call, as you guys can tell. Talked about everything that caught my eye in college football, and now we're going to look at everything that caught my eye in the National Football League. Buffalo handled their business against Miami. That's what jump started week 3, Thursday night football. Josh Allen just seems to ascend every time he plays he plays Miami. This is like Brady against the Bills, Aaron Rodgers against the Bears. Dak Prescott against the Giants. Like, quarterbacks just have that one team that they love to go off against, and Josh found his in Miami. Yeah, so with that being said, looking at the stats from that Thursday night game, Buffalo did win 31-21. Tua threw 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception. Yeah, that's what's killing Miami. If they can go one game without turning the ball over, they'd actually be doing pretty well. Josh Allen, 22 of 28, 213 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And James Cook, once again, showing why he's the most important player of this Buffalo offense. 19 carries, 108 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Dalton Kincaid was your leading receiver. 5 receptions, 66 yards. And Khalil Shakir was your second leading receiver. 4 receptions, 45 yards. Look, I'm not going to give them that title yet, but it looks like Buffalo wants to take that we're the best team in the AFC title. Maybe even the league. But ask me in about a month who I think the best team in the NFL is, and we'll talk. The Indianapolis Colts are 3-0. How many of you had that on your bingo card? Because I sure as hell didn't. Daniel Jones does it again. 18 for 25, 228 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And Jonathan Taylor, oh, you know my rule. You better have game if you got 2 first names. It's only right, baby. 17 carries up, 102 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I don't know. Tennessee looks like they're in games, and then the wheels just kind of implode. Yeah. Excuse me. Cam Ward, 23 of 38, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, which was a pick 6. But Tennessee will get there. Like, they will. They're young. They're rebuilding, and unfortunately, you have to suck before you can. You have to struggle during a rebuild. You know that it's just like that. The Atlanta Falcons should be ashamed of themselves. They didn't even bother to show up, losing 30-0 because they overlooked Carolina. That's what it was. You won that game last Sunday night against the Minnesota Vikings, and you were still celebrating that victory. I know it when I see it. Yeah, Carolina looked good, and they play hard. Bryce Young, 16 of 24, 121 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, Carolina ran the ball. They were dominant defensively. I don't get it. And the Houston Texans are 0-3. Now, Houston was the favorite to win the AFC South, and here they are, no wins and 3 losses down so far. It's their offense. When you give up 17 points in a football game at any level, you're supposed to win those. It's their offense that's really struggling, and I think personally, the Texans miss Joe Mixon. What James Cook is to the Bills, I can give Joe Mixon that label because he just does a lot of the little things that impact the game. CJ Stroud threw 2 interceptions. Nick Chubb, 9 carries, 38 yards. And then Trevor Lawrence didn't look all that great either. 20 of 40, 222 yards. No touchdowns, 1 interception. It was a low-scoring game, 17-10. And, yeah, the Vikings really handled their business against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, Isaiah Rodgers was just all over the football field. I mean, wow. Is all I could say. 48-10 was the final score, and looking at this now, this could be a very, very long drought until Joe Burrow comes back. And honestly, if the Bengals are out of playoff contention, so to say, why even bring Joe back? Just sit him and let him come back the next year. But it all depends on where they are. Like, they could stay afloat if they play a lot better than what they did yesterday. But, yeah. Interesting game in Tampa Bay. Buccaneers hosting the Jets, and the Jets almost got their first win of the year. No Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor stepped in. But Tampa found a way to escape. They win 29-27. They escape an upset. But the game of the day took place in South Philadelphia, one I did preview during the week. Los Angeles Rams, Philadelphia Eagles. Rematch of the divisional round of the NFC playoffs. And they also met in the regular season last year. At SoFi, Saquon finished with 302 total yards. It's total scrimmage yards. So he ran for 255 and then caught a couple passes for 47 yards. Then, in the divisional round, he ran crazy against them again, going off for 205 yards. So I know the Rams were like, look, we got to bottle up that number 26 guy, plain and simple. The Rams did a good job of containing Saquon Barkley. 18 carries and 46 yards, held him to only 2.6 yards per carry. Jalen Hurts put the team on his back. Granted, he was sacked 4 times, but he was 21 of 32, 226 yards, and 3 touchdown passes. Matthew Stafford, 19 of 33, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The Rams looked like they were running away with this game. They were up 26-7 at one point, but the Eagles showed why they are the defending champs. And they just willed their way back into the game. Outscored LA 14-7 in the third quarter, and then outscored them again 12-0 in the fourth quarter. I think the Eagles needed this game personally, because this game got their offense jump-started, and what a game that's going to be next week in Tampa Bay. Eagles, Buccaneers. Yeah, I can't wait to preview that one. Little shameless plug. Words of David on point. The Chargers are 3-0 for the first time since 2002. Drew Brees was on the Chargers at that time. Um, I just like what they're doing. Tough news about Najee Harris. Really wishing him a speedy recovery. Did suffer an Achilles injury. He probably tore it or ruptured it, and he's unfortunately going to miss the remainder of the season, more than likely. Denver was in this game, and then they weren't. Kind of played how they did last weekend in Indianapolis. Had the game, and then they didn't. You lost your last two games by a total of 4 points. You lost to the Colts by 1, and then you lost to the Chargers by 3. Man, the Chargers are just handling their business. Justin Herbert was 28 of 47, 1 touchdown, and did throw an interception. And Omarion Hampton, 19 carries, 70 yards. That's the rookie out of North Carolina. Quentin Johnston was your leading receiver. 6 receptions, 89 yards. Yeah, the Chargers are doing it with energy on both sides of the football. But they're 3-0. They're keeping it moving. The 49ers are 3-0. Escape with a 1-point victory. But I want to talk about the Chicago Bears. The Monsters of the Midway. This was a get-right game for them. And I was expecting this to be a shootout, but the Cowboys just like to shoot themselves in the foot, as I commonly say. This was a homecoming for Matt Eberflus. He was the Bears head coach. Now he's the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Dak Prescott, not his best day at the office. 31 of 40, 251 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Once again, the two things the Cowboys can't do. They can't run the football, and they can't stop the run. Caleb Williams, on the other hand, this is the best game he's had as a professional quarterback. 19 of 28, 298 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What a game from the young man. And Luther Burden got to finally join the party. 3 receptions, 101 yards, and he caught one of the 4 touchdown passes from Caleb. The Cowboys don't play defense. The Cowboys don't have a pass rusher because they traded him to Green Bay, who I will talk about very soon. And yeah, the Cowboys just don't scare anymore. Plain and simple. The Bears did win that game yesterday by a score of 31-14. Green Bay, I say it all the time. This is why you can't overlook teams. And I remember being on the Prime last Tuesday and telling David, hey, don't be surprised if Cleveland plays them tough. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Nah, these are the Browns. That's an easy game. How many times do I have to say it? There's no such thing as an easy game in the National Football League. Seriously. Like, there's really not. And the Browns won that game, 13-10. Anytime the Packers had opportunities, the Browns just neutralized that. And yeah, I think the Packers looked ahead, as I commonly say. Looking ahead to the Dallas Cowboys, who they play next Sunday night. No. I say it all the time. Focus on what's in front of you right then and there. And to me, that's a testament to coaching. Like, But sometimes the cookie just doesn't crumble your way. Looking at the stat lines, Jordan Love, 18-25, 183 yards passing. He was sacked 5 times. So where was the protection? Low scoring defensive battle, 13-10. Green Bay loses their first game. I don't know if I mentioned them already, but if I did, I apologize if I find myself repeating what I'm about to say now. And if you have a problem with it, just don't listen. Um, I was wondering what we were going to get from the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. Because I have been ripping them every chance I could get. To me, the Steelers are relying a little too heavily on a 41-year-old to win them football games. No, put him under center, get out the gun, let him be under center, hand the football off, get back to Steeler football, which is running the ball. Nah, Aaron can still throw the ball, but having him win you games at this point in his career, nah, that's not going to get the job done. Yesterday was the best I've seen the Steelers defense look all year long. Yeah, like that was. I saw effort. I saw energy. I saw guys finishing tackles. I saw guys getting home, covering, playing with that lane discipline and that gap integrity, and it all panned out for them. The Steelers did win that game by a score of 21-14, and I love those Patriots throwbacks. Those are easily one of my favorite throwbacks in the league. Aaron Rodgers kind of just had to be game manager. 16-23, 139 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And the Steelers' offensive line actually did well up front because they allowed no sacks. The Patriots, on the other hand, Drake May, 28-37, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he was sacked 5 times. The Patriots were in this game until they weren't. The Steelers won 21-14. I remember at one time, I said this on Instagram yesterday before everything kicked off. I remember the Steelers and Patriots, like every year, they were always fighting for that top seed in the AFC. It was an interesting chapter of football between when Brady and Roethlisberger were playing for the Patriots and the Steelers, respectively. A lot of memorable games. They've met in the playoffs a couple of times, and I know Steeler fans were happy when Brady retired. And yeah, this was this was a fun show. I'm gonna end it right now. I had no questions, so with that being said, I'm just gonna end it, guys. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy listening to this just as much as I had fun recording it and presenting it to you. Log on to the site, which is the Daily Blitz blog, into your email address, and anything I post on the site will be also sent to your email inbox. Follow us on Twitter at DailyBlitz_61. Follow us on Instagram at the Daily Blitz 61, and follow me personally on Twitter at the Football Analyst _61. Keep up with me on the airwaves. Monday evening quarterback. Then I'm off to go do the Prime for a little bit before I get on Twitter and break down the Lions and the Ravens. Tonight should be a fun one. I like Baltimore to win that game in a shootout, 35-30. Every Tuesday night, catch me on Prime Sports World with David and TJ and Izzy and Matt James when he wants to show up. Wednesdays, catch me on a betting window with Ronnie Kumpf, John Danzo, and Ryan Shaw. Fridays, catch me on College Football Showdown, back on Prime Sports World with my main man, Israel Rivera, and Matt James. Thank you guys always for following along, and as expected and as usual, huge shout out to my family, my mom, and my beautiful sister Taylor. Yeah, both both of them mean so much. I love my beautiful mother to death, and I love my sister to death. I'm nothing without them. My son, better known as my dog, Siebes. Um, my other siblings, Sean, Janice, Tanisha, Daphne, and my little adopted nephew, Aiden. Uncle loves you. And I love all of y'all who I just listed as well. My dad, man, thank you for everything you do. I know I'm about to hear from you in a little bit after you listen to this episode of Monday Evening Quarterback. Robert Butler, Jason Tyree, still praying for you, bro. Keep your head up. Love you always. Kimmel Fryer, Candace Carter, Rob Carter, Mike Griffin, um, Velo, Alex Bennett, Kevin Cooper, his wife Lynn, their beautiful daughter Evelyn, who we often refer to as Evie, Cole Johnson, better known as Coach, our moderator D. I know we got a lot to talk about, so I'm about to, you know, get on my phone and chat with you guys and, you know, to anyone who is listening and has been listening and has been supporting the Daily Blitz and Monday Evening Quarterback. Man, I thank you so much for everything you do, everything you've done, and everything I know you're about to do for me moving forward. You know, this really is becoming a movement, and I am so excited of what's to come moving forward. I will be back here next Monday night, God willing. Um, I will see you then. Enjoy Monday Night Football. I'm off to go do the Prime for a little bit, so catch me there, and then catch me on Twitter. Interact with me during the game. I want to know who you have winning the game. Continue to send me your football questions, and I will see you guys next week. I'm out. Have an amazing week, and just know you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. See you guys soon. Blessings.